Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Right, well, I feel welcome. Dit is my home and I want to achieve success. Okay.
Good morning, people. How you all doing on this day of live recording, the 20th of June? Bombas coming out from Fabrizio Romano regarding Todibo potential transfer ban, as it's a dual club ownership, as Ineos owns Nice and Trawlers Limited has 25% investment in Manchester United regarding Todibo. We're going to talk about that one. We are going to look at the overall rules. We've been doing some digging to find out really is this the case or not. We're also going to look at Michael Olise, the transfer news. What's going on with Olise? Is he off for Manchester United, or what is the situation? And also another transfer target emerging from Ten Hag in the central midfield, which is no other than Edson Alvares, which is the captain of Mexico and also one of the key players at West Ham as well. So guys, please enjoy the show. You know what to do. Please like and subscribe to this video if you're new. Let's get right into the news, shall we? Before we continue, guys, welcome. I know it was hit by a shock yesterday. Well, Fabrizio Romano came out exclusively. I'm just sharing the screen, and we're going to talk about this cool and composed. We're going to dissect what does this mean, right? As per usual, what we do on this channel. Fabrizio Romano dropped a bomba yesterday to say exclusive. And this is something that we were aware of in this community, because some of you have kind of mentioned that in the chats before. But Jean-Clair Todibo deal for Manchester United is currently off and highly unlikely due to UEFA rules. Now, mark this word, due to UEFA rules. Talks were advanced with all parties keen for months, but Nice and Man United, with same ownership playing in the same European competition next season, means no green light. So let's look at this sentence. Talks advanced within both parties, keen for months, but Nice and Man United, with same ownership playing in Europa competition next season, means no green light. Now, that opens up a loophole straight away, because I know that a lot of people were talking about, what about Manchester City? What did they do? Manchester City Group, they loan out this player to, I think it was Girona, and then they loan him up for another club, which I can't really remember the name, XYZ. And they got away with murder. But does this mean that it is a total transfer ban? Does it mean that Manchester United cannot purchase Todibo? Well, I'm going to tell you there is a loophole. Before we continue, I want to shout you out. Welcome to the stream, everyone that's made it here. C3PO, good morning to you, my friend. And Ivo Bosic is saying also here, winning the FA Cup nuked this deal. Not really. Let's dive right into the story, and I'm going to try to compose this in 30 minutes. Let's get right into the game and just let's interpret what the UEFA rule says, right? This was then published on July 7th by UEFA itself on the UEFA site. You can go and check it out yourself. I will leave a link in the pinned comment section as well. The CFCB renders decision on multi-club ownership case for the 2023-24 UEFA club competition. Mark this word, it's club competition, right? So without any further ado, let's dive right into the facts. First chamber of the UEFA Club Financial Control Body, which is this CFCB first chamber, had previously opened proceedings against Aston Villa, number one, and they own the Vitória Sports Club, Portugal, right? Brighton, Hove Albion, England, and Royal Union Saint-Gilloise in Belgium, right? And AC Milan and Toulouse, France is the same ownership, right? Due to potential conflict with the multi-club ownership rule provided for Article 5 in the UEFA club competition regulations. Now, mark this in yellow here. Following the implementation of significant changes by the clubs and the related investors, the FCB accepted the admission of aforementioned, I can't really read these clubs, of the UEFA club competition for the 2023-24 season. Compliance with the multi-club ownership rule, considering that as of today. So what does this mean? Okay, this is also marked in highlights, guys. No club, either directly independent, holds the deals and securities share of any other club participating in UEFA club competition. First and foremost, it is Sir Jim Ratcliffe. It's Trawlers Limited. He's an investor, 25% in Manchester United. Who owns Nice? It's Ineos Sport. They own 100%. And we're going to look into no club. Let's go bullet by bullet, right? In yellow here. No club is a member of any other club participating in UEFA club competition, right? No club member, basically, what I'm saying. No one has a power whatsoever in simultaneously involved, directly or indirectly, in any capacity whatsoever in the management, administration, and sporting performance of more than one club participating in UEFA club competition. Keep remembering this UEFA club competition. Go back to Fabrizio Romano here as well. It's also saying UEFA club competition, UEFA rules, right? Right? There's an advanced Nice, but Man United, same ownership, can playing in the same Europa competition next season means no green light. And we go back to the points again. No one has control or decisive influence over more than one club in UEFA club competition. Club competition. Do you get the point? UEFA club competition. And maybe you will understand where I'm going at. Where is the loophole here? More specifically, the significant changes that were implemented related to the ownership, governance, and financial structure of the concept of clubs. Now, pause for a second. Financial governance, ownership. We're talking about ownership, governance. Listen, UEFA club competition is for club competition specifically. The FA and Premier League is another entity. It's another financial governance. So you will get my point where the loophole is. So significant restrictions in the ability to provide financial to more than one club, right? First and foremost, right, Glazers are still owners of Manchester United, right? They're in charge of the finances. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is just an investor. No representation on the board of directors and no capacity to directly appoint new directors on the board of more than one club. I think that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and, Ineos or Trawlers Limited got the green light to compete in Europe already by proving this. There's no conflict of interest because the board that sits at Ineos Sports Nice is not the same board. The only difference is that you have Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who is an investor and an owner, or in Ineos. There's 3 different owners of Ineos as well. So basically, no ability to participate in General Assembly, ability to participate in key decisions such as approval of the budgets and more than one club. So as far as I'm concerned, approving budgets, it's down to actually the Glazers, because they are the majority of the KPI holders, right? But what's more interesting in here, which everyone is kind of looking at, is this point. This is what Fabrizio Romano got stuck on, and this is what we're going to debunk here as well. The club will not transfer players to each other, right? Whether permanently or loaned directly or indirectly until September 2024. So let's repeat. The clubs will not transfer players to each other, whether permanently or on loan directly until 2024. Now, you can sort of debunk it. What does it mean? You can just Google that in ChatGPT. The statement means that the club in question have agreed not to engage in any player transfer with each other until September 2024. This includes permanent transfers. Players will not be sold or bought between these clubs or permanent basis. Loan transfers. Players will not be loaned to each other. Direct transfers equally. No transfers will occur directly between these 2 clubs, or indirectly transfers involving third parties or intermediates to facilitate the movements or players between these clubs are also prohibited. In essence, though, this agreement restricts all forms of players in movement between the indirect involved clubs until the specific date, which is September 2024. And that, my friends, is only involving Europe. Champions League, Conference League and Europa League. You see what I'm getting at? So my point is here, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to have a drum roll and a little bit of a launch for doing this digging. This rule means that Manchester United can still purchase Todibo, no problems at all. They can still go buy Todibo, but you cannot play him in Europa League. That is where your UEFA governance body applies. You remember, UEFA club competition. So there is no blow. Manchester United can still go and buy Todibo, but they cannot play him in Europa. So basically what I'm trying to say is that the deal is not off. United can still go and pay, the transfer fee, agree with Todibo, agree with Ineos, and just use him in domestic clubs. FA, right? Meaning Premier League, perhaps Carabao Cup, perhaps FA Cup as well, right? There's no conflict of interest there. There's a totally different entity. Do you know what I mean? So that is the loophole, it's in. So whatever the bomber that was dropped yesterday's, that was kind of an indication that, yeah, you can buy him, but you cannot play him in any Champions League, Conference League, or UEFA. So does this restrict Manchester United to go and buy Todibo? No, it doesn't. If you really want this player, you can still play him in, be competitive in the Champions League, in the Premier League and the domestic cups. And that is an advantage. But in Europa, you still have a lot of rotation. You still have a lot of players that can play there instead. Willy Kwambala or whoever you decide to buy, but just not Todibo. I want to hear from you guys. Let me hear from you guys what you're saying. I'm going to go to chat. Let me know what you think. Why is not media reporting on this, right? Yeah, exactly. Kenny Fan TV, big up to you. Good evening, Mick. Savio was at Troyes FC. 100% it was. Yes, Savio. Yeah, that is a deal that is done by Manchester City, right? So he was a, let's see, Girona player, wasn't he? And that is owned by Manchester City Group. And then they loaned him out to Troyes, which is also part of Manchester City Group. And since Troyes is not part of the Europa League, they're going to buy him and he can still play in Champions League. So that is the loophole. You see what I'm getting at? Champions League, UEFA club competitions. Ratcliffe is talking to Bloomberg, according to Abid Mohammed. Yeah, and basically he's kicking up a stink. You should be challenging this, 100%. Good morning, Sandra Mayers, to you. Good morning. How you doing? Stu Wolps, what you saying here? Stu Wolps is saying, I hope Chelsea get Olise because it's a position we don't really need at the moment. Yes, Stu, we're going to talk about that one. Keep that. I'm going to park that question as well for the Q&A section. Come in with your questions as well because we've got a lot of things to talk about. Ivo Bosic, all the way from Australia. They should sell him to Lausanne and then loan him out for us for the year, buy him next year. Why? Do we really need Todibo in the Europa League? I mean, I don't think so. We have enough of good centre backs that can play Europa League. We can buy Todibo and still just play him in the Premier League and focus on getting high up on the league. And next year it'll be totally legit, right? Because this only applies until September 2024. Then the rule doesn't apply anymore. Do you get my point? So this is only valid to September 2024. Yeah, I'm gonna highlight this again, right? So you can see here, until September 2024, right? I hope you get my drift. Big up to all of you legends in the set. Don't forget to smash that like. It looks like this. It helps the YouTube algorithm. So subscribe if you haven't. If you hear a little bit noise, I do apologize. I do have some maintenance because we have some AC problems, so they just here fixing. So you might hear some drilling. Don't be disturbed. I'm trying to get rid of this noise as soon as possible, not to kick them up, because I really need AC. It's super hot in here. What are you saying here? Jack Hoff is here. The problem is that United and Nice have the same people in the board. Do they? At the moment, you have Jean-Claude Blanc acting as an interim, right? He's going to go away as soon as Jean Berada comes in as well. So he's just there as an interim, right? He will go away. So that is the only one. Brailsford, is he part of the board? I don't think so. And I think Brailsford will also disappear eventually. That's why it's conflict of interest. Not really. Not really. That is the only thing, because Jean-Claude Blanc. Well, Jack Hoff is saying it's not rocket science. What are you saying here? Stu Wolves working while listening at the moment, guys. Early finish today for the footy. Yeah, it's a good footy games tonight. And sorry if I haven't been live. It's just the Euros is disrupting everything. And I'm here this morning just to give you this news because I was doing some digging last night. I was talking to Swedish Rumble. I was finding this article and I was reading and I was like, this doesn't make sense, right? This is something that you guys been mentioning in the chat months before, that there might be, I can't remember who it was Compost Smurf, I can't remember, but one of your community members has been constantly saying that, and here it is. So Fabrizio just dropped it yesterday to say bomba, but it's actually not bomba when you dissect it. Chunky Dave, good morning to you as well, Mick. This Ratcliffe part ownership causes more problem on top of what we already have. Ines and Glazes. So yeah, 100%, mate. But it looks like they're going to put up in Nice for sale, right? That was widely reported. Within 12 months, they're going to get rid of it, sell it, and solely focus on Manchester United. So we will not have this problem. And potentially they can invest that money to get more shares in Manchester United for a potential hostile takeover. It's better than the Glazers, 100%. Anyway, Mark Nurse is big up for you, Mark Nurse. Good morning, Madhouse. Madhouse, good morning to you. Guten Morgen as well. Guten Morgen, VR room. Mark is in, where are you? Düsseldorf, right? Right in the Germany. Z is what you're thinking. Anyway, cool. So, guys, just a quick one. Origami, what you're saying here, Origami, in January, move better because it's valid up to September. Yeah, potentially. Yeah, but we need reinforcements right now. So that's the thing. We're going to focus on the league. So if you can get in a Todibo just right now in this window and just play him in, Premier League, that'd be a massive benefit. Why would you wait till January? Doesn't really make sense, right? So let's move on to the story, guys. And just to recap things, right? This UEFA rule only applies if two clubs are playing in the same competition, like Champions League, Europa League, or Conference League. This is UEFA governance body. That means that even in transfers, you cannot do business in between each other and play the same play in the same competition. But the loophole here is that UEFA governance body does not apply to FA or the Premier League, as is different rules. So, in conclusion, in hindsight, United can still go and buy Todibo for the 25 million euros, what was said, and play him in the domestic league. 100%, we need to focus on the domestic league. We need to finish high up on the domestic league. But when it comes to Europa, in my opinion, we can play the kids, we can play the youth. We don't really know who we're going to end up, if we're going to end up with Brentway or whatsoever. Good morning to you, Flex Felix as well. How you doing? Yeah, I'm going to try to wrap this up because of the maintenance, and you might hear some noise eventually. Now I'm going to move on to the stories as well, because I basically tweeted this as well. So if you can give this a little bit of retweet, guys, that'd be amazing if you could do. Just understood regarding Todibo, the UEFA rule only states UEFA club competition. Go into my Twitter, give this a retweet as well, and let's move on to the story regarding what's going on with Crystal Palace and Michael Olise. We saw tweets the other day that regarding the right wing position. We know that Greenwood potentially is going to get sold. There's multiple suitors coming in. We know that Sanchez is going to get sold, but we need replacements. On the other hand, we've seen tweets on, Amad Diallo being integral part of the squad. Meaning, do we really need an Olise? In my opinion, we need a creative spark, right? Olise, for me, I don't know. He's so good on set pieces. He's so good on crosses into the box. He's a very good player, right? So, but it's not a priority that United are looking to sell ASAP. Now, exclusive saying by Fabrizio Romano saying that the Crystal Palace have offered a new deal for Michael Olise. Why wouldn't they? Right, I'm going to dive into that. Why wouldn't they? Which includes a higher salary and a new release clause for 2025. Let's pause that for a second. Let's draw the line there. Crystal Palace has offered a new deal to Michael Olise with a higher salary and new release clause. That is rightfully so. They know that he's an asset, he's a talent. And on a release clause on 60 million euros or 55 million pounds, they want to increase that. Yeah. The only way they can do that is offering a new deal and pray to God that he will take it, right? Increase his salary, put a favorable release clause, maybe slap an 80 million fee on it, right? So they're clever what they're doing here, Crystal Palace. But understand that the Chelsea are hounding him, right? They're still confident they can get a deal for him to agree the personal terms. But it's up to the player. What the thing is here, what do you want, Michael Olise? Apparently you are a boyhood Manchester United fan. And apparently what I've been hearing is he's not rushing into things. He's going to wait. There's no rush. There's no need to rush here, right? Bayern and Newcastle also interested and allowed to talk to Olise. It was also reported that United were also allowed to talk to Olise. But the thing is, let us do the business first, what we need, meaning the centre-back position. Okay, now I cleared that the Todibo can be attainable. Brentwaite, for me, I think that it will be a deal coming very soon because we are entering, it's 10 days to the end of this financial month as well. And, you know, Everton, they need to generate 50 million not to get a PSR breach or deducted points. And by the time you got to conclude that business, you got to register to the books. It's going to take time. So it's take it or leave it. Manchester United are box clever, right? Everton is not going to sell Onana. He's in the World Cup. They're not going to sell, like, you know, who do we say, Calvert-Lewin as well. He's not worth 50 million. They need 50 million to register by the book before 1st of July, right? So that is the crux what they are looking at. So for me, I don't know, this is the one for the future. We are looking at pacey center backs, like if we're going to play a high line. Brentwaite can be good, two-footed. He's a little bit slow in the beginning, but then he picks up the pace. I mean, he's very good in the air, but he's left-footed, and who plays there is Leach. So I wouldn't pay more than 55 million, take it or leave it. More than 55 million, and that is with add-ons, or even a cheeky 50, right? 45 plus 5 add-ons and move on. Because if you look at the right back situation, right center back position, we still have Lenny Euro to talk to. We still have Giancarlo Inacio as well. We still have a lot of good options. So for me, that is something that needs to be sorted, and we need to sell Lindelof as well and Harry Maguire. Because why? We're not going to play that high line with those two players like this. This is old dinosaur players that needs to get out of the door. Anyway, I want to hear from you saying what you are saying here. Jeff Steele, big up to you. Yeah, I mean, basically, I agree with you, Stu Wolps is saying. We have more than enough options for wingers. Other positions must be taken priority. 100%. Sandra Mays is saying, no Olise for me. Ahmad is the way forward. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we have wingers enough. Why would you get an Olise? But you got to look at, he's a creator, right? And then you got to understand why we are looking to get a Xerxes in as well. Xerxes is a creator. He's not that typical, you know, box striker. He's more of a link-up player, like, you know, very explosive, very fast, very tall. It's like a comparison to Anthony Martial that will link up play with, you know, with the wingers and everything. 1-2, 1-2 goes. And he's pretty much a creator, like, you know, and there might be a scenario where you play two number 9s, like two false number 9s with, you know, or maybe you play a 4-4-2, right? He's perfect. He can drop deep, Xerxes. He can link up play, but he's so fast with pace as well. So this is a deal that I think on a harder meter will be done by Manchester United due to Milan are stalling not to pay the commission fees. And by the way, regarding FIFA's new regulations and commission fee, which is new since December 2023, agents cannot charge more than 10%. So I don't know where he's getting this 10 million, 14 million from in commission fees. And apparently, Kia Yobashian is willing to give a discount to Manchester United because there's lots of volumes to be given to him. We have an history with him before. He wants to sort of remain good face, but he doesn't really have a good relationship with AC Milan. It's a little bit frosty, and that deal with AC Milan can be definitely hijacked. It's just a matter of fact of Manchester United coming in there, agreeing personal terms with Xerxes, agreeing, like, you know, what is the commission fee with Kia Yobashian, the agent, and just go to AC Milan to say, We have a deal, personal terms, we want to trigger the release clause, off you go, bang. How many installments? Will it be cash on front? Will it be 2 years installments, 3, 4, 5? And off you go. That could be easily hijacked and done. But the thing is, I don't think we're going to do business until next month, in the beginning of next month. But we are aligning the docs, right? You know, we are lining them up, prepaying the deals, right? Let's see. Jason Wilcox will change the way wingers will play. Sandra, is Jason Wilcox the manager? Jason Wilcox's job is basically to make sure that everything is functional, right? Everything can be optimized. How can we get the best out of each place for each position? Ten Hag is the one that sets the training and the tactics in a way. But 100% sure, like, you know, 100%. Let's move on to the story. Stu Wops is saying that I like the sound of Xerxes. Bit of the unknown could be exciting. I'm just put off the agent of the fee of 12 million. Yeah, 100%. They are greedy agents, right? Seriously. But as I said, like, you know, you can contest this because UEFA has maximum 5 up to 10% in commission of the overall package, right? So this is going to be the one to watch. But however, moving forward, as I am pressed for time, I'm going to try to wrap this up in, let's say, 30 minutes. Listen, guys, if you were living under the rock yesterday, we're going to bring this up to the stage, basically. Let's zoom this out. According to Fabrizio Romano, Manchester United is seriously considering to bring a new midfielder, almost sure in case Casemiro leaves. There's understood to be Mexican captain Edson Alvares is one of the options discussed internally, appreciated by Ten Hag. But it's a difficult deal to make, as West Ham consider him as a key player. I don't know much about Edson Alvarez. I haven't really watched much about West Ham, to be honest. But I saw a little bit clips. Yeah, it's cool. West Ham, David Moyes left. Can we get a deal for him? What would they ask for? We have multiple positions in the central defending midfielder role that we're looking. Depends on, I think Casemiro will be leaving. Casemiro doesn't look happy. You remember that he was not even mentioned in the squad on the FA Cup. And I think depends on what happens. If we don't get any money or any deal for Casemiro, he's forced to stay. That's the thing, right? So will Saudi come in for him? Apparently he was talking to Bayern Munich. There was some interest, but the wages is astronomical. The only thing that I can see is MLS or potentially like Saudi coming in and giving an important bid and taking him away. But we need to replace that midfield. So do you think that Edson Alvarez is somebody for United? Kenny, what you're saying, I don't think we'll get Alvarez anyways. There's plenty of targets because I know that the one that Manchester United are crazy about is no other than Neves, right? João Neves. And they believe they could make a deal on 75 million, but it all depends on Eriksen out and also Casemiro out. Those two combined together will generate, you like to say, Casemiro is about 18 million in wages. Plus you get some money for him. Eriksen is about 250k a week. That's about 7.2 million. There's definitely money to be sort of generated. But in order to recruit new players, you also get new players out. And also for me, I would definitely do the deal with Amrabat to make him a permanent for 21 million. Negotiate, go to Fiorentina. We paid the loan fee of 10 million. There's apparently a 21 million. That's a permanent activated release clause. I think Manchester United have sort of a first refusal in order to a preference to negotiate that deal. I certainly will trigger that one, and then I will move on. For me personally, I'll go for 2 center backs needed, 2 midfielders, and a striker, and we'd be good. I wouldn't even bother going at the wings. Let me know what you think. What would you prioritize? As I said, I'll go for 2. Maybe 3 center backs because we need reinforcements in the back. Apparently, we're also looking at the left back as well because something's going to happen. Apparently, either with Luke Shaw or Malacia. So we look at Milos Kerkez. Maatsen, we saw yesterday, is off the target. Maatsen is, I think he's going to Aston Villa. Or no, he's going to Chelsea. Yes, Chelsea's doing madness anyway. So, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. Stu Wolps is saying 2 center backs, 2 center midfields, 1 center forward, and 1 left back. You're towing the same line as me. We're singing from the same Spotify hymn sheet. Flex Felix is saying we can get 10 million for Ericsson, all profit since we got him for free. Yeah, absolutely. And another thing, guys, before I wrap up the stream, don't forget the Manchester United are looking at the free market as well. And we've been saying here, keep your eyes on. I know you don't slate me, don't shoot the messenger. Keep your eyes on Rabiot, 100%. He's not going to prolongate his deal with Juventus. I know we got snubbed twice, but for me, it's no-brainer. It's no risk. Maybe the wages will be about 200, 250, right? This is something can be negotiated. We will deal with his mother as well, but we're not going to marry her. We're not going to be the mother-in-law here, guys. Jokes aside. But there's something that I would do. We need experience, and he's a box-to-box. He's got an endless engine, good shot. I mean, he's been doing great at Juventus. It's low risk because you're not paying for him, right? So you can get him on a contract for 2 to 3 years, and then you can just fizz him out. So there's no risk and there's no resale value whatsoever. Potentially there is a sell-on value if he leaves, right? So this is a deal that I would do if I was a sporting director. I would look at the free market. I would look at people 1 year left on the contract. But, you know, Rabiot is a class midfielder, right? And I've been doing this tweet yesterday, say, would you take him, yes or no? And a lot of people were saying no, because of his mother. But you look at his football ability, right? What will he add to the squad? Just going to leave the food for thought for you there. And Maatsen is definitely off to Aston Villa. Cheers, Mick. Cheers to everyone. In the comment afterwards, guys, let me know, would you take on a free Rabiot, knowing it's no risk and we need reinforcement in that midfield? I would definitely do it. But also to summarize this stream, guys, what we did here was kind of look at the UEFA rules, understand what's going on. What is the situation with Todibo? Can Manchester United purchase him and still play him in the Premier League and the local competitions, domestic competition? The answer is yes. Can Manchester United purchase him and playing in Europa League? The answer is no, unless Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are doing something to challenge that. So I hope that makes any sense. I had my say, and hopefully I made you guys a better day. So guys, that's all for me. I'm going to wrap up this stream. If you're watching this in retrospective, please do hit that notification button so you never miss a stream. And also, most important thing, the like button. It's been Mick Ruby here from Mufc Realist TV. We shall see you to the next one. Glory, glory, Manchester United. Oh, peace, love, and go bananas as well. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.